I think that's
Rennie Rast, my old rival.
Yeah.
Great to see him in that seat.
Again,
absolutely fantastic to see him being promoted to that.
Rennie's first stint of this race.
That's a big moment for him then, Damien, as he just prepares to be launched out into this, and what a race to be launched out into, his first drive at Le Mans.
Yeah, I remember he burst onto the scene in the Porsche Super Cup whilst I was there. I think it was going into my second season, and it was in Bahrain at the first. So we hadn't even seen them testing. I didn't even know who he was, and I think he was either first or second on the grid. And I was either first or second, I forget now which one, but I remember asking the team, who is this guy? And they were like, yeah, he's kind of fast.
Yeah, put into one of the fastest cars in the world, and on one of the finest tracks in the world. What a race we've got on our hands, haven't we, still? And there's still...
Yeah, and it's just... I mean, I don't know if you guys, Jeremy, you've been here from the off without any pit stops yourself. Can you call this race? Is it too early?
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Anything can happen. It's certainly, unless something very strange happens, it is going to be between Porsche and Audi. That's what we expected from the start. But we've got, I think we're probably back to 6 cars on the lead lap again now, with that pit stop for the race leader. And any of those 6 cars can win the race. Just a question now, really, of who has the least number of difficulties. The number 17 Porsche had a pretty good advantage for quite a while there, but that has been whittled away again, and they're now pretty much back on level field, level playing field. The cars are stopping in sort of, overhearing Felipe Albuquerque, having hopped out of that race leader car, said the car's sliding a little bit, but sounded pretty happy.
Yeah, he did, and he was referring to something being really easy. I'm not sure whether that was lap time or actually a quadruple stint on the same set of tires, but nonetheless, very, very happy. He's got to get off now. Get something to eat. I mean, these guys have got to be really, really disciplined. He's just gotten out of the car. Time actually flies, because you want to get out, you want to take a look at the screens to see where you are, see where your teammates are. There are people wanting to talk to you, wanting to interview you. It's very important that those guys get replenished some food.
Big fight on again here. The 19 car of Hulkenberg trying to hunt down the where were he? Is that Fassler he's latched himself onto now? No, he's too far back for that, isn't it? 3 abreast. Toyota being passed. Put another lap down there by these two fighting for position.
That's number 9. That's Rennie Rast. That's just come out of the pits.
Rast is already out. Yeah, that's it.
So we're coming down now to Indianapolis.
As we said, launched straight into the cauldron here, and he's got Hulkenberg all over the back of him. Just 1 second between them when he rejoined, and Hulkenberg, of course, has been in that car for a while now. He's nicely bedded in, isn't he? Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I just can't say enough about Rennie Rast. He's really, really good. He's really quick. A bit like Nick Tandy. Those guys, it was super. Another Porsche Super Cup guy, actually. Yeah. Both of them were in at the same time as well. But 2 guys that have been promoted to seats that they thoroughly deserve, in my opinion.
So this is the fight for, it's probably too early to say for the podium, this is a fight for 3rd place. We've got only a quarter of the way into the race at the moment, and Webber leads from Fassler, then Rast and Hulkenberg. The 2 are watching now, having a stew as the funfairs light up in the background, and dusk begins to fall here in La Sarthe. The time is now 9:30 at night. And the crowd just not melting away tonight. They're still there. The stands are still full. Everyone's packed here. They're still enthralled by this battle unfolding before them.
Everywhere you go, there's people. I mean, just walking up into the paddock, you've got a queue up to get out the gates, to get in the gates. You've got a queue for the bathroom. It's crazy. There's just people everywhere. It's such a huge event.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Here is Rennie Rast, and right behind him is Nico Hulkenberg.
Rennie's he's actually beginning to open that gap, isn't he?
Taking advantage of those fresh tyres on that car, but against that, the number 19 car of Nico Hulkenberg, he's going towards the end of his stint now. He was last in the pits.
So light on fuel.
On lap 91, so probably next time around, we can expect to see that car onto pit lane. Did you hear that?
That's the 19.
Yep.
That's Nico Hülkenberg being called for fuel. I'm sure he's at box of this lap.
Exactly, yeah.
So that car should be pretty quick as well right now, because it's light on fuel. So he's going to be gunning it.
But Tars will be towards the end of their...
Of course, but we've seen...
Jeremy would know more about that. He'll know how many stints he's done on those.
Which car?
On the
19 Nico Hülkenberg.
19 car.
He took on fresh tyres when he took over the wheel of that car at the last pit.
So he'll have 2 more stints on those at least.
They should be just, as I say, fuel only there for Nico Hülkenberg.
I think Michelin have a... You heard the engineer, or the Michelin guy that was in here earlier. I think he could gather some data as well from Jeremy Shaw as to when to change tyres. Not just those sensors. Another sensor, I think, Jeremy, is you.
I asked him about that, I asked him about that just as he was leaving, and when do they like to change compounds? They're running the same compounds now and likely to do so through until about probably 1 o'clock in the morning, depending on, it really depends on the ambient temperature or the track temperature in particular. And he said once that gets down to 16 or 17 degrees, we'd expect them to switch over to the softer tyre.
Yes.
And then at about 8 or 9 in the morning, go back to the slightly harder compound after that for a bit more durability when the temperature heats up again. Fascinating stuff.
I think they've got a couple of extremes as well on either side of their...
Now, Rast is caught in traffic and just got blocked behind a GT car, and through goes... the Hülkenberg caught... They'd swapped places over again, didn't they? Yeah.
Hulkenberg has just set the fastest second sector, Jeremy, of the race.
Yeah, indeed, by 0.3 of a second, actually, just on that one sector.
Yeah, Porsche are seriously fast in that sector.
Yeah, it was Nelson Hartley who set the best sector. It was 75.4 seconds about 30 laps ago.
The radio only seems to work on the front straight. Radio only front straight. Watch pit board. Watch pit board.
Well, we're hearing him.
Yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? We can hear him and she can't. That's going to be very frustrating.
And there's the pit board going out.
Wow, pit board is an electric pit board. I've never seen that before.
They think of everything.
Oh, yeah.
God, I was just about to say they're going back to the old-fashioned method.
And Hülkenberg's in the pits. He has peeled off as Jeremy forecast. Well done, Jeremy.
Yep, so that's right on schedule, and again taking advantage of those softer tyres there and the light fuel load. But again, Porsche, as we heard from the from the Michelin engineers, the Porsches are not as easy on their tyres as are the Audis, so they have to manage their pace. They can't afford to go too fast, and I'm sure that is in the mind there of Mark Webber last time around. The 121.9 is pretty consistent. It is Webber doing 21s, 22s, 23s, as are most of the leaders at this stage in the race. Ollie Jarvis, meanwhile, he's still trying to get back onto the lead lap. He is a lap down in car number 8, turned to 3:20 last time around.
And that's probably a greater challenge for the Porsche drivers versus the Audi drivers, because the Audi, by nature, that chassis is really easy on its tyres. So it's probably greater pressure on the Porsche drivers because their chassis is inherently a little bit harder on tyres. So it puts more pressure on them to make them last and to be really smooth with them.
52 seconds. Sorry, Mark.
Sorry, after you, Joe.
Yeah, beg your pardon. 52-second pit stop there for Nico Hülkenberg. And again, consistently, we've seen the Porsches making slightly quicker pit stops for fuel only than the Audis. And I think that's because they're taking on a little bit less fuel than the Audis, but they've not quite got enough to go that extra lap.
So
at this stage.
Is it anything to do with the fact that one is taking on gasoline and the other's taking on diesel?
The diesel takes longer to fuel, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the FIA have equalised the fuel flows, don't they?
Okay, for the difference in viscosity.
But the Porsche's taking a lot more fuel on.
Right.
The Audi only takes, let's just get this right, 54 litres.
But certainly the organisers, they try to, don't they? They equalise with the flow rates of the fuel into the car, whichever the fuel happens to be. They try and make sure they're fairly equal.
So Audi takes on 54.2 litres, Porsche 68.3.
Yeah.
So,
but the fuel flow is faster in the Audis than it is in the.
That answers a question that somebody asked me on Twitter earlier about the fuel capacity of the P1 cars. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to tweet them in at Damien Faulkner, at Jeremy Shaw Racer, and we'll try our best to answer them.
Marcel, radio check. Do you copy? Press OK.
Okay, so that's interesting. We're on board with Marcel Fazler, and Lena Gate has just asked him if he copies and to press OK. So I don't know whether actually OK is actually the radio button, as I suggested earlier, just to click it, or actually whether, and there's that LED pit lane going out. Pit board rather.
Pit board again.
Yeah, crazy.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just, Damien, something you said just a couple of minutes ago about the Porsche and being heavy on their tyres. It's something that the Michelin man, Nicolas Goubert, who came in earlier, he actually volunteered the information. These Porsches are harder on the tyres than the rest of our customers. And
yeah, I mean that's just something that's nothing to do with the drivers. That's just the inherent design of the chassis, and there's really not much that the drivers can do other than they could probably place a little bit of emphasis, and I'm sure they'll come under pressure from the Porsche engineers to look after their tyres, and obviously it's in their own interest, right? Because the longer they can make their tyres last, the higher the performance. And there's a shot of Marcel Fazler's engineer Lena Gate, and she's on the radio again.
It's definitely it's really exercising at this, isn't it? This problem about radio communication.
And actually, I don't know whether Jeremy, I don't know if you can shed any light, or Mark, if you can shed any light on this. But when she said to press OK, that could be a number of things. But what I'm thinking just immediately is just key the button, which is the radio button on the steering wheel, or it could be because they've got live telemetry. I'm not sure whether they're able to, if he presses an OK button, for example, it changes a page on the dash, and they can see that. So it's basically they're asking him a question, and he's trying to communicate via electronics, if you like.
Yeah. So they can understand there's some form of acknowledgement.
Yeah, and they'll be hoping that problem with the radio will be in the.
Here's the.
Oh, that's a
Viper in. Yeah.
That's a bit of a problem for the 53 Viper.
They're not rushing it into the pits, so if they think it's something they can sort out on the pit apron. As we go back on board live with the 17 car, Mark Webber still leading the race. That his lead at the moment is 16.6 seconds. Yes, so we'll be going back over to Eurosport 1.
Yeah, we've got
there's a nice
quite a few
on-board
listeners here twittering that we're not getting on Eurosport 2. My apologies, that's what we were told. So if that's not information, I don't know. But
we're on the whole 24 hours, on one or the
somewhere,
other.
So apologies for you guys having difficulties. I believe we're going back to Eurosport 1 very, very shortly. In fact, in about 10 seconds. So please bear with us here on Eurosport.
Thank you. Welcome back to Eurosport 1 and our live coverage of the Le Mans 24 hours. Those of you who've just tweeted in to say you're having problems finding which channel, we are swapping just occasionally between 1 and 2 when we have the 24-minute program. So just keep an ear out for any announcements. I can tell you right now, the next one will be 8:30 tomorrow morning when we will go back live to Eurosport 2 for the next 24 minutes program. I'm Mark Coe. With me is Jeremy Shaw and Damien Faulkner, and we're just looking at Mark Webber at the moment. This is the man that not only Porsche but Le Mans itself would want to win the race if there was a chance of it, because the publicity that would generate on Monday morning in the papers would be immense.
Well, yeah, and also, we have a current Formula 1 driver in sitting there in Porsche as well, Nico Hülkenberg, but Nico Hülkenberg's only here for one race, I gather. So I guess maybe out of the two, but Porsche are not really going to have a choice. I mean, that would be their nicest problem ever, wouldn't it? To have a choice of which car to give the victory to. But there's still a long way to go, 17 hours and 15 minutes. And Top three, Mark Webber leading by 11 seconds from Marcel Fasler, and Rennie Rast in third, 19 seconds back from the leader in the number 9 Audi.
Great shots then as evening falls here over La Sarthe. This is the famous Mulsanne straight, and that's the second of the chicanes as they go down now towards Mulsanne corner over the famous hump, which has been flattened over the years. Mark Webber back up to speed now, and still that car not quite as quick as the Audi's chasing him. The last lap, in fact, Webber 3:23, and Marcel Fasler, who's closing in on him, a 3:19. So Fasler 4 seconds quicker, Jeremy, on that last lap.
Yeah, the previous couple of laps, Mark Webber had actually pulled out a little bit over Marcel Fasler, but the gap between those two, as you say, 11 seconds, and another 20 seconds back up the road is Rennie Rast in car number 9, and about 43 seconds behind him, Romain Dumas in car number 18 Porsche, and behind Romain Dumas, his teammate Nico Hulkenberg, only about 4 seconds behind in the number 19 car in the 5th place.
You can see when the guys look in the mirrors coming down like the Mulsanne like that, this time of night, and I've mentioned this earlier, and it's still not dark. Damn it, I think it was a bit premature, but it makes it very difficult for the GT drivers to distinguish one, how far away that P1 or P2 car is from them, and 2, how many cars are coming behind them. So it's a great challenge, and they've got to just keep their line, be very predictable. We saw a good shot there on board with one of the I think it was one of the prototypes. It was Michael Avenatti coming out of Arnage, and Michael did the right thing, stayed to the left, stayed on his line, very predictable. And we're just getting a replay of the number, what's that, number 18? And that was up at Dunlop, just going straight, and carried a little bit too much speed in, and then just opted to go straight through the Dunlop chicane there, rather than risk turning it in and having a spin.
Romain Dumas, as long as he doesn't improve his sector times through.
Wow.
Romain Dumas getting pretty frustrated with what he's been told to do on the radio.
Yeah, and I think the issue there is that he doesn't have enough temperature in his brakes. And so he's telling them to brake later. And so it's really difficult, because for even looking there, I've just called it and I just said, you know, he's probably just braked a little bit too late, carried a little bit more speed in. But in actual fact, they think that he's braking a little bit too early, not hard enough to generate enough heat and retardation. And so, wow. And he's asking them, what can I do? What can I do? Getting a little heated there, the Frenchman. Whoa,
crikey,
just coming out of the Porsche curves, a little bit more apex than he wanted to.
Don't forget, they're also harvesting energy from the front brakes, so that's something a team can see immediately. Also through the turbo, through the exhaust turbo, but.
Of course, yeah, but I think that was a retardation problem that just pushed him into the chicane there with a little bit too much speed, more than what he needed to take.
It's easy for us to sit here, isn't it? These are the guys out there driving their heart out. And,
this time, no problem there for Romain Dumas. You can see that car hopping under braking there, wasn't it, as he came up into the...
Car 47, your last pit stop is under investigation. Team manager car 47 to the race director immediately.
Oh, wow. That's the our race director there, Eduardo Freitas, informing the KCMG team, the leaders in LMP2, pretty much throughout the whole contest, that their last pit stop is under investigation. Team manager then summoned to race control to apparently explain whatever anomaly or problem there might have been during that pit stop.
There have been one person too many over the wall, as it were, but we'll find out a little later. At the moment, they've got a 1 minute 51 second lead over the second place TDS by Thierry car of Pierre Thierry, the car owner who's on board at the moment.
Yeah, there's two trading lap times lately. The top 4 or 5 cars in LMP2 have been running similar lap times lately. That's the second place car. The car number 7, Marcel Fasler, turned to box this lap to pit this time around. That'll be 108 laps, so absolutely on schedule for Marcel Fasler.
And presumably they'll change the radio while he's doing that.
Yeah, oh wow, fantastic onboard shot there coming into the beginning of the Porsche curves, but just overtaking a GT car there. He's on his way into the pits, and he'll be hoping that, and the team will be hoping that the problem is in his helmet and not in the loom system in the car, because he'll have spare helmets, and they could just switch to for his next stint, or in fact they could just fix the one. So here he is, peels off into the pit lane.
Yeah, and he had to back off a little bit there, didn't he? Caught up behind, I think that was a Toyota actually, number 2 car.
He's obviously hearing his radio messages. We know that because the stop buttons. What can they change, Damon, in the car now? Just the radio box, or?
Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, they'll just probably have a visual look around, or I don't know if, I mean, has he been looking at his pit board, or did he respond to that message? Because that message, although it may have been delayed, so he may have got it on the pit straight. We saw it when he was around the back of the circuit, so you can see there he may have a quick look. And I don't know, the guy's changing the drinks bottle. Marcel is going to stay on board, right?
Yes.
So they've probably just checked the connections.
Yeah, because he only hopped aboard. Marcel Fast had just got aboard this car and its previous pit stop. Look how quickly they get going. It's quite remarkable, isn't it? Fire up the engine and gone, just like that. Blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's like the start-stop you have in modern cars now.
Just so reliable.
We only have radio on the front straight. Only radio on the front straight.
They couldn't fix it then, so I guess they're stuck with this for the rest of the race.
Yeah, well, like Jeremy said, well, it may be a helmet problem for them. They'll be hoping that it's a helmet problem.
Difficulty though, that's kind of strange.
Yeah, well, could be, but it could be some sort of a loose connection. I don't know. They'll obviously have methods of checking that when he gets out of the car. Yep. But as long as he can hear them, then he knows what to do.
That's more important, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a little bit, it's not ideal, a little bit difficult in traffic, or if he's in a fight with someone else, whether it's it's very difficult to know what place you're in, where you are situated in the group. Especially if there's a lot of traffic around. Yeah, but then, of course, if we have the slow zones and the yellows or safety car, that can't be communicated to him only when he's on the pit straight.
Yeah, no, I think what they're saying is he can only communicate with them on the pit straight. That's how I understood it.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah. Then I'm completely wrong.
And Lena can speak to him for the rest of the lap. That was my understanding.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Well, then that's my fault then. So obviously, which is why he responded to the box now.
Look at this road, a Route Nationale, and it's full of tram lines from the trucks. You can just see the wavy lines. You can see how rough it is from the from the aerial shots.
Yeah, when you're turning in there to that second chicane.
Need to go for 4 stints. I think that was the call. Meanwhile, Mark Webber we can expect to see onto pit lane, I think, this time around. So car number 17 leads the race, 108 laps completed on lap 109, and I expect that car to be onto pit lane this time. And Mark's driving very consistently now. His last 4 laps, 3 of them have been almost identical at 3 minutes 21.2, 3 or 4 seconds. So within a couple of tenths of a second each of his 3 of his last 4 laps, and one of them a little bit of traffic. But Mark Webber showing good consistency there in our race leading car. And interestingly, did not come onto pit lane, so he will stay out one more lap. This will be a 14 lap stint. Oh no, he is on pit lane. Okay, fine, thank you.
Someone on Twitter has just asked about rip-offs on well, there's 2 sorts of rip-offs. There's rip-offs for the closed cars there, and they've got several rip-offs that will they'll be ripped off during pit stops, Jeremy. So the driver will give the command to the team, listen, I need a tear off ripped off, or they can just say I'll have it cleaned. But if it's really badly pitted, and they'll have there's a maximum number that I think I'm not sure if there's a maximum number that they're allowed, but the maximum number they can physically put on there. And then for the open cockpit cars, of course, they'll have 3 or 4 or 5 rip-off on their actual visor on their helmet, and of course they can tear that off when they wish.
And what you're talking about there is a thin film that can actually be pulled off the whole, either the helmet or in the open-top cars, or the windscreen on the race car.
Yeah, and it's applied. It's just a plastic film, as you say, and it's applied with like an applicator and some liquid, and they just squeeze out all the bubbles, and it's pretty good.
So 17 hours still to go in just 4 minutes time. We're going to go for a break, be slightly shorter than that. Back with all the latest from Le Mans as dusk falls. Welcome back to Eurosport here at the Le Mans 24 Hours, 83rd running of the great race, which first went round these roads in 1923, and so much has happened since then. Not only since then, but so much has happened since today's race started at 3 o'clock this afternoon here in France. We're now 9:58 at night, and dusk just starting to fall. Damien Faulkner, I'm Mark Cole. Damien, we're getting to the stage now where drivers, although we haven't got sun tonight, fortunately, but it's quite a slow transition, isn't it, from light to dark at the moment?
It is actually, and in this sort of transitional period between daylight and darkness, it's really, really difficult, really treacherous. The track changes, obviously vision changes. It's really difficult for the GT drivers, and you know, it's just about being predictable, really, and trying to stay out of trouble, and that's for everybody. But just getting back to the problem. Oh, there we have an onboard on the Alpine Nissan. You can see he's in 6th gear. He's almost got all the revs gone, and wow, look at that. I think that was a Porsche that just went flying past. So he's doing that. P2 was doing 190 miles an hour when that Porsche passed him. That's just to give you an example of the different speed. And there goes what was that? An Audi, I think. I don't know what it was. It was a plane.
Audi on the other side. Yeah, was it a plane? Was it a bullet? No, it was Superman.
And just to get back to the radio problem with Marcel Fasler and Lena Gage, somebody tweeted in there to say that she also had difficulty communicating with Trillier, so it's probably a car issue rather than a helmet issue for Marcel Fasler.
Thank you for that. That came from?
That came in from Samuel Cisaluna. Not sure if I...
Samuel Cicluna. Samuel,
okay,
thank you very much for that.
And also, we have to apologise because the volume of the pit radio messages on Eurosport is people are saying that it's a little quiet. I don't think there's anything we can do about that, Mark, is it?
No, not at the moment, I'm afraid. So this is the Nissan Pit Game, a 22 car. This is the car that Alex Buncombe has been at the wheel at for a long, long time tonight, and having some work done. This really is a development program. Hugh Chamberlain, speaking to us earlier, said he didn't feel they should be doing all this development work in a race. But, Jeremy, racing...
Yes, Mark.
Hugh Chamberlain telling us that he felt Nissan shouldn't be doing all this development work in the race. But that's why you go racing, to develop things.
Indeed so. Completely agree with you there. Is it...
well, can I just
yeah, go.
Sorry, just to jump in there. I'm not sure that I agree. Well, I mean, I think, yeah, motor racing's used for, to develop new technology for road cars, for consumers, and there's definitely a big link there. However, I think all the testing should be done away, and here you come here to compete. You compete to win. I'm not sure that you come here to test. So with all the will in the world and respect to Nissan, I mean, they're having a hard job. They're here with a huge effort. 3 cars. To give you an example, Toyota are here with 2 cars, and what is this? Their 4th year. And this is Nissan's 1st year. They're here with 3, so it's all hands on deck, and probably they've just exposed themselves a little bit. But so I think I'd probably agree with a little bit with Hugh Chamberlain.
It's certainly been a massive operation for these guys. I mean, Chris Mower is the team manager. He's had to put this whole program together, pull all the people aspects, all the logistics together, and at the same time developing the car by the rest of the team. So it's a massive undertaking, a huge commitment to the sport by Nissan. You've got to take your hats off them to that, no question.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jeremy. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's fantastic as we see some onboard stuff here with 2 P2 cars passing a GT. Fantastic down through the Dunlop S's.
47 car then in, which is still under investigation for some pit infringement. It may be one man too many over the line. It might be something else, something to do with refueling, but we don't know yet. We haven't heard any more. Mark Howson then going back out into the fray. That car, Jeremy's now made 9 pit stops as LMP1 leader, compared with the 8 of our overall race leader, Rennie Rast.
That's about right, because both Tristan Gourmandi in that number 46 car, the Tyrrell by TDS entry, and KCMG, they've been making pit stops generally a little bit before everybody else in any case. So everybody else kind of owes us a pit stop right now in P2.
Jeremy's guys, if you just have a look at this onboard on the ESM, you see above the windscreen, that's actually on the bulkhead, the carbon fiber bulkhead. You can see a white outline of a map. That is in fact a map of the circuit and all the names of the corners, and that's on there strategically placed so that the driver can see it. Because this lap is so long and there's so many turns, that if anything happens, the driver can just look at the map and go, okay, I'm at Arnage, it's Arnage, and it's to avoid any miscommunication and just to be really sort of give better clarity. Oh, there's the number 18.
Yeah, this is Romain Dumas, who's been having all sorts of front brake problems, according to his pit. He didn't agree, but what's he done?
Okay, he's selected reverse. We're not sure where that is at the moment. It looks like it's the second chicane, is it? No?
No, it's zone 20. That is down at Mulsanne. There we go. Straight on. Oh, big time missing his brakes.
Oh, and he's
into
just
the tyres,
yeah. So that's
and Romain Dumas a bit coming under increasing pressure, and maybe you'll see it. There he goes right across there, and that right behind him, the car that went through was Nico Hulkenberg. Those two have been battling away there for 4th and 5th places, but that battle area on board the number 19 of Hulkenberg as Romain Dumas exits stage left.
Nico saw the whole thing, didn't he? Just a wind in front of him. There's quite a lot of damaged bodywork at the front of the car, and Romain went into that barrier quite heavily, didn't he? But look.
Yeah, there's the new nose. It's all prepared. Yeah. And here he is on his way back, and you can see the damage there on the front right.
Now, we just mentioned there'd been a lot of radio communication, somewhat bad-tempered communication between him and his engineer about not braking enough, braking too early on the front. This time, he's overshot himself. I'm okay. I mean, that's all. they can see.
And getting back to what you're talking about there, Mark, that's a good point. And I think that was all related to temperature, getting enough temperature into these brakes. These brakes work at, like, I think it's 800 to 1,000 degrees Celsius. That's when maximum retardation takes place and when they work properly. Great on board there with him.
He's not a happy man, is he?
No, and he's pit bound, and he's going to get a full service here by the looks of it.
Will he be staying in, Jeremy? What's the
Romain Dumas?
Yeah.
Yeah, he took over. No, probably not. It's probably about time for a change. He got into the car at 7:30. It's now what 10 o'clock. So yeah, 2.5 hours.
I think we've just seen another driver there come shooting out to the door.
Did they not tell him about forced stinting at one point?
I think yes, some reference to that.
He's done one. He's done 3. This is his 4th stint. So yeah, it is time to hand over. A little bit earlier than he'd planned.
Yeah.
But not much in actual fact, because this is just a 12-lap stint. This is lap 112. Last pit stop was on lap 100 for Romain Dumas.
You saw him walk around the front of the car and just cursory look down at the damage and walk straight into the pits. So he knows what he's done.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't know what happened. We think that we obviously locked a brake. We don't know what the reason is. To be fair, we can only speculate, but he's going to be disappointed no matter whether it was his fault or not. Neil Janney getting on board that car.
Yeah.
Right, the pole sitter.
Very good there, but the two mechanics went the other side of the white line till the tyre fitters had finished, got the nose off, and the other crew bring it on, so there's never any more than 4 people over the white line. Good job there.
And you can just see when they took it off, there's no like wiring loom that they have to manually disconnect. It's all sort of plumbed already in with the bodywork, so they just pull the thing off, the lights go out,
so that's
put the new one on, and they light up, and that's it.
So 500,000 euro nose is rubbish, but they'll just take it off his pay, won't they?
I'm not surprised. He mightn't be getting paid too well then this year.
Yeah, so that nose change cost them in the region of 25 seconds. 20 to 25 seconds to change the nose on that car. It was a 1 minute 33-second pit stop. Generally speaking, their fuel-only stops have been between 51 and 54 seconds, and generally it's 20 seconds to change tyres. So that takes up to about 1 minute 15. So about 18, somewhere between 18 and 25 seconds to change the nose on that car number 18.
Ooh. There's a lucky man. He got away with it, didn't he? But it could have been a lot worse for him. Well, we're going for another break as we go down the chute. This is behind one of the Rebs. This is the Imperatori car, or is it the Prost car? Prost car number 12 car. We'll be back in a moment after these messages. Well, here's Newmarket's finest, Oliver Jarvis, on track at the moment, and Ollie putting in a very decent shift at the moment. We're told he's averaging 3-minute 21.4 second laps during this stint. In fact, the last one just very, very slightly slow as he got caught up in traffic, but doing a really good job there. He's 1 lap down on the race-leading 5 ahead of him.
And he's just bringing that car onto pit lane.
Yep, and in he comes. So Ollie, one of the most genuine, friendly guys in motorsport. I knew him well through DTM days, and in he comes again. A big day for him.
This will be tyres only for Oliver Jarvis. He took over the controls of this car on lap 100, so a 13-lap stint. That's the norm for Audi Sport Team Yost. Clean the windscreen, clean the headlights.
And of course, these guys who...
There's the note. That was interesting, wasn't it? The guy who was cleaning the windshield there was got a tap on the back from the other crew member there saying, "Fuel's almost done. Get out of the way."
Yeah, that's it. It's blunt, but it's firm, and that's the way they do it.
Here we are.
7
overhead shot there.
Give us a wave. We're just down in the bottom right-hand corner of the picture now. Those cabins, that's us guys. So Jeremy, Damien and myself looking out at what's going on the track over the Ford chicane and the pit.
Just have sorry, Mark. Oh wow, yeah, you can see all the bugs and flies, and
that's why they have to clean the screens part of the time, as well as anything else that's thrown up.
Exactly, that would be a lot of dust molecules there as well. And
dusk now. The sun's pretty much set, I think, now, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Just have a question.
Unfortunately for the drivers, it wasn't so bright sunshine before it set, because that can be difficult when you're coming on that section towards Indianapolis, and or right before Indianapolis in particular, as the setting sun is kind of directly ahead of you.
Oh, yellow flag in zone 8, and there is the drone
car. Oh dear. If it wasn't for bad luck, they'd have no luck at all this year. That's at zone 8, which is halfway down the Mulsanne, isn't it? On the way to the... It's just after the Poplars, on the way towards the first chicane.
If there's any good news, it's it hasn't been a crash.
Yeah, Juan Barbosa's had some sort of failure in the car. He's still got his power, hasn't he? The lights are on.
Yeah, but he may be going through a sort of a recycle of the electrical system, so the team will be constantly talking to him, and he'll be asked to switch the power off for so many seconds, switch it back on again, and see. Obviously, we're just speculating here. We don't know what's wrong with the car, but...
Great view of the village here, which is where all the spectators gather. That's where all the bars are this time of night. It's where you meet and greet people.
Just goes to show you the magnitude of this event, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And there's the FIA president.
You have to hand it to people like the Pistonheads Club. They built a pub, an English pub there in the village, and it's called, I believe, the Cock and Piston. They were just waiting to say more about that. But T-shirt of the day so far, it's one of the group. It's the Arnage Club group. They've got a great he's got going again.
There you go. So
well done.
So what has probably happened there is there's been some sort of a malfunction, probably electrical, and the team have asked him to pull over, stop. You got to recycle the ignition system, and that all takes time. And obviously when he cuts all power, he's got no radio, so he's got to be really sure from the team with a lot of clarity how many seconds he's got to switch it off for.
Pits off our race leader René Rast behind one of the Nissans coming down the pit lane. Might cost him a second or two as he came into the pit entrance, but again for René Rast in car number 9, 115 laps, so absolutely on schedule once again. 13 laps, his first stint at the wheel of this car. So fuel only. Interesting to see what the time of that pit stop is. We'll see when he crosses the line at pit exit. Again, the pit stop time, the last one for Mark Webber was 52 seconds. And that is the time from when they come into the pit lane to when they leave right there, that line, to rejoin the racetrack. And the time for René Rast shows up as
58 seconds.
58 seconds.
Exactly the same as the number 7 in his last pit stop.
It hadn't And that's about what this car's been.
Just a question on Twitter. What are the main differences between the Audi and the Porsche this year? Where do we start, guys? Diesel, petrol.
What isn't different is they're owned by the same company, but from there on, yes, diesel, diesel and
Good
petrol.
answer. Yeah, they've also got
4-litre V6.
4-litre V6.
The way they harvest their
diesel
versus a 2-litre twin turbo V4 petrol engine. And of course their hybrid systems are very, very different as well.
The Audi harvests its energy through a Williams flywheel, which is in the car alongside the driver. The Porsche collects it from the front brakes and from the exhaust. There's an exhaust-driven turbo, which the turbos drive in turn, and that's how they do theirs. Audi also harvesting it from the wheels, and of course at times when they release the hybrid engine, the cars become four-wheel drive through the front wheels.
Yeah, and the amount of energy that those hybrid systems produce in the Audi is 4 megajoules. Don't ask me what a megajoule is, please. And 8 megajoules for the Porsche. But that's a measurement of energy in effect. And because the whole ethos these days of the World Endurance Championship is about efficiency, each car is allowed a certain amount of energy per lap. And so if they're using more hybrid energy, that means they can use less fuel energy. So they're allowed to use a slightly less amount of fuel, of petrol or diesel, whichever it is.
And of course it's regulated as well, right?
It's regulated as well, absolutely right. And it can be that you use too much energy. If you do that, then you have to correct yourselves. The telemetry is real time to the team, so they can relay information to the drivers to make sure they do not exceed that limit.
And so there's a process of lift and coast. If they've used too much fuel before the end of the lap, they've got to lift and coast. But in actual fact, it'll do it automatically. But I do believe there's a manual system that overrides the automatic system.
It's called the right foot.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
But if you have overcooked it on one lap with a hybrid, you have 2 laps to get back to the regime, so you do get that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So there you go. I hope that was a good enough explanation. Good question.
Yeah, thank you very much. That does help. You might remember that when we were talking about Raymond Dumas and his front-end problems when he was having the argument with the engineer, we actually mentioned, maybe there's some hybrid issue going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. We never know. The fantastic shot for the helicopter. Brilliant, lovely nighttime shot.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Again, what's the time here? 18 minutes past 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. And that's not a bad crowd, is it, for that time of night?
Scotch corner he's just gone through. That's Tracy corner after both those drivers had monumental accidents there over the past couple of years. And there we are through Tetra Rouge and down the chute onto the Arnage, past those famous poplar trees.
So there's a picture of the Judd-powered Krone racing car. So they've taken it back there. They're obviously perhaps changing some sort of an electrical component. Maybe it's the ECU. Could be any one of a number of things. But obviously they've taken it back into the garage because they've probably pinpointed what it is.
Jeremy, the Krone Power car is powered by Judd. We're also trying to work out earlier on this afternoon that we have got one car that we're not quite sure. The Moran Sarthe. Do you know what engine is in that? It's not shown anywhere in the bulletins of any sort we've got.
Well,
that's the.
Yeah, it's basically a Judd engine. It's basically a Judd engine.
It's a 3.6 V8.
Yeah,
that is another Judd, same as Krone.
And the Judds they're based loosely, at least, on BMW a V8 engine, yeah.
And allegedly, I think, from what I heard in the pit lane this morning doing the rounds, it's very economical, and perhaps more economical than the Nissans it rivals.
A little bit, but with the way the fuel, I think there's 75 litres, I think they're allowed in the P2 as the size of the fuel tank. There's the classification as it stands right now, running through the screen. And you can see the order here in the P2 class. And the number 22 Nissan, that's the best running of the cars, 18th place overall. And that will be 11th place in P1. Farther down the order, we get down to the GT cars. Number 64 car, Jordan Taylor at the wheel of the Corvette, leads in GTE Pro.
He's been in that car forever.
He's been in for a goodly while.
Yeah, and then GT there we are, the Aston Martin Vantage, the 98 car. Pedro Lamy, the man who put that car on pole position, still out front after rocking and rolling a little bit tonight.
And after doing
a couple of hours, Jordan Taylor at the wheel of the 64 car.
One more pit stop as well, Mark, than the next 4 behind him, and he's still in the lead.
Yeah.
Such is the performance advantage of that Aston. Pedro Lamy.
Yeah, that's right. And talking to pit stops, we're owed one fairly shortly now by Jordan Taylor. We see the second player he's in right now. In fact, thank you very much, Jordan.
So that's Nico Hulkenberg's engineer telling them to box this lap for fuel. Oh, fantastic. This is the entry to the Porsche curves. Just watch and listen. It really is, I think, like flying an airplane on the ground, really. So much downforce, so much grip, and so fast. That's between everything you saw there was above 145 miles an hour.
And then into the pit lane and hits the button 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, and you've got to be really careful. 1 foot too late there, and he would have to serve a penalty. So you've got to be very, very careful. And even, you know, especially more so when you've done you know, a double stint or a treble stint, and you're getting a little bit tired. You've got to be really, really careful on top of your game that you don't overdo it, overcook it. You know, coming in there.
Nico, as we've said before, first Formula 1 driver for some years, active Formula 1 driver to race at Le Mans. His Formula 1 boss, Vijay Mallya of Force India, here today, presumably to see Nico in, but Damon would like to read all sorts of things into him being here.
Well, who knows, yeah. Probably here as a guest of Nico, isn't he?
You're sitting over a free sandwich. There we go. The Rock is starting up at the Nissan Nismo place. Nissan are here for fun, make no mistake about it.
Yeah, they're here for all sorts of reasons, but certainly fun is pretty high up on the list.
Yeah, as is marketing, and I think they've done a great job with that. They've really made us feel welcome. We had a great time up there the other day, sliding down their slide, using their simulator and eating their great food.
Yeah. We did have a few injuries though, amongst them Jan Mardenborough, Mikael Krum, and also Lindsay Moore, the PR for Nissan, who all had grazes on their arms. In fact,
Jan Mardenborough had a strap around his wrist.
Bent his thumb back on it, apparently, isn't it?
Wow, yeah.
Anyway, we're going for a break. Night is definitely starting to fall now as the cars pile into the second of the chicanes here at Le Mans. We'll be back after this break.
Welcome back to Eurosport. 118 laps now completed by our race leader, which once again is Mark Webber. 3 minutes 22.2 last time around, and again Mark running pretty consistently at the front of the field. The gap back to second place, which is now Marcel Fassler, is at 17.8 seconds, and since Mark came out of the pits, which is, well, since number 9 car pitted a little while ago, that gap has remained pretty constant. In actual fact, it's remained pretty constant. When it came out of the pits, when Mark Webber came out of the pits 8 laps ago, the gap between those two cars was 19 seconds. Now it's 17.8, so it's changed hardly at all. René Rast in third place, another 15 seconds behind in car number 9, and Nico Hulkenberg rejoins in fourth place after making a pit stop last time around.
Thank you for that, Jeremy. Well, we're joined by another of our honoured guests, Tommy Erdos, back at Le Mans. How many times is this now?
Good evening, everyone, from Eurosport. Great to be here. Yes, I'm afraid to say it's 13. I hate that number.
Very interesting communication there from Neil Jarni at the wheel of car number 18. That is a pole-sitting car. And he says he's complaining got no straight line speed. And we talked about a little bit earlier on with the hybrid systems on these cars. They kind of lose a bit of efficiency as the race goes along. And certainly that'll give you a lot less grunt onto the straightaway. I don't know, you going to add anything to the technicalities?
I'm afraid not. I'm a mere spectator this year.
Oh,
and, completely away from from what's going on in the action. So I've just come to visit my friends at Eurosport. But yeah, as I was saying, it was 13 times. So I've got to make it 14. If anybody's keen to give me a ride somewhere, I'm around for that. But no, just kidding. Great to be here. Nice to see you guys.
Tommy, of course, we always associate you at Le Mans with Ray Mallet Racing and great days in the LMP2 cars.
Yes,
Mike Newton and you and
absolutely, we had a fantastic run. We got a radio message coming on now. No, okay. So yeah, I mean, we had some really great years here at Le Mans. Obviously, we won the race twice in LMP2 and we the championship as well. And I was Mike Newton is here this evening, and I was just chatting with him and Phil Barker, our boss, and so it was great to meet them sort of on the other side of the fence. And we're enjoying the race. It's a real fast pace. It's I mean, I can't wait to see the end and see who's going to come out the winner. It's difficult to predict.
Great pictures these are, aren't they? I mean, look, it looks almost completely dark on the screen there. That was the onboard camera there. Look at the overhead view as well. Looking out of the commentary booth here, the sun certainly has set. It's still dusk. There's still some light out there, Tommy. Driving in these conditions at this time of the evening?
Yeah, it's always difficult to adjust your vision, and then when you go from sunset, as you say, into dark.
There's another view there, looking out of the back.
The car right behind you is the 51 Ferrari. They're a lap down, and then it looks like the 97 Aston, which is P2, is right behind him.
And that's the radio call to Jordan Taylor, who's leading the GTE Pro category in that number 64 Corvette. Only one factory Corvette running in this race. In case you didn't hear, Jan Magnussen in the 63 car had a huge accident on Thursday night. That car